comes to the movie companion, I'm going to be 100% honest with you and say I found it to be a decent, enjoyable film for so many reasons. Firstly, I love the story of this film as it starts off so innocent, but then as the film goes on, it becomes more disturbed and sinister as we go along, and I really enjoy that. I thought the film was quite funny, to be fair, whether it be the dialogue from characters, whether it be just the great editing to certain scenes, or it's just the imagery from the violence we get, which can be quite humorous. And another part that I really enjoyed is the twists this film has. It does throw a lot of twists our way. Now, the only issue I have with it is some of them are quite predictable, whether it's because of the film itself or because of the trailers. Now, I'm not knocking it. I do enjoy the fact that some of these twists make you feel smart for guessing them, but then what I really do love is that for someone who didn't watch the trailers, I bet they would see some of these hints and not really notice, but for someone who sadly did see the trailers, you really appreciate all the hints and subtlety in the first 20 minutes of this film before the big reveal. Whether it be through dialogue or imagery, I just really appreciated seeing that they were very subtle with it, and so people who didn't see the trailers would not really have picked up on this until the big reveal. Now, when it comes to the violence, I really did love seeing it. We don't get much violence in this, but what we do get is quite grotesque, disturbed and sinister. And I also enjoyed there is a bit of humour as well from it, which may just make me sound disturbed, but at the same time I think sometimes horror comedy is always great. The last thing I really loved about this film is that the companion is not the antagonist, and if anything it's the humans who are the antagonist of the film, or at least a specific human. But they all agreed to reprogram this particular companion to be able to commit such heinous acts, and so if anything they are just being a manipulated model, and that these guys are the real corrupted people. It's actually interesting to show this companion as the protagonist is innocent because it's been manipulated and vilified by the actual villains themselves. And we rarely get this in movies. We're always seeing humans as the good guys and the robots are vilified. They're going against their masters for no other reason than just pure destruction and corruption. And this film flips it on its head and shows humans are actually the corrupted ones. They are the reason this companion has done such horrific acts. I really like that. It's interesting to see that something new put onto the table. When it comes to the ending of this film, I will say I did enjoy it, but at the same time, because of the fact they kind of revealed how this film is going to end in the very beginning with a piece of dialogue, I'm not that much emotionally invested into the end battle between these two characters, as I know what's going to happen, so I'm not as invested or, if I'm being truly honest, interested in the result. If I hadn't heard that piece of dialogue, then I definitely would have been like, oh, who's going to get the upper hand? It's sad to say that they kind of ruined the ending by revealing it very early on, at least in my eyes. Now, when it comes to criticisms, I'll be honest and say I don't have many, and I think it's more nitpicky, if anything. The first one being about antagonist played by Jack Wade, who for some reason decides it makes sense to reveal to the companion, oh yeah, you're actually not a human, you're a sex toy who we've manipulated and made you murder someone else. As if saying that is not going to make her want to reprogram herself, escape, go on a killing spree and then come after you. Like, how do you not see that coming? And on the one end, I can see it as a big criticism of the film, just like how dumb is this character, but that's also just showing how egotistical this guy is. He literally believes he could say this to the robot as, oh, it's going to be reprogrammed anyway, so I might as well say it. It's like, no, you don't have to. I thought it was a really dumb move by him, but I think maybe that was the writer's intention to show how egotistical and idiotic this man truly is. My second critique is about the predictability. Now, like I said, I don't have a problem with it, but my main issue is the trailers that they used to advertise this film, as I felt like they should have kept it a bit more of a mystique, because they've revealed what is the most interesting part of this film, and by doing that, people are going into this film with a lot of expectations, and because you know that one bit of information, you can kind of predict what's going to happen, and all the information that you've processed from one trailer, you can somewhat learn about the majority of the movie, which is really sad, and it's such a shame about that, as you know so much by just one little thing. My third and final critique is about the protagonist who upgrades her intelligence to 100%. And for occasional cases we see this actually being used, a lot of funny but clever scenes. But there are quite a lot of instances where it doesn't feel like she is using 100% intelligence, even though it has been upgraded, and she's just a basic model. And you kind of think, she's got the intelligence of quite a smart human being, surely she would be thinking better than this. Overall, I did enjoy this film. I found it to be fun. I enjoyed that it went into topics such as objectification, manipulation, and how people treat objects and people, but I felt they limited themselves when going into these topics, and they could have went into further conversations, but instead they steer right and go into the predictability era, which for me was a real issue with this film, as it just felt so ordinary. There was nothing really standing out, and made it quite a non-memorable film, at least in my eyes. So for all those reasons, is this film good? I'll be honest and say it's alright. Rating wise, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Now when it comes to would I rewatch it, the answer is not really. Now, I have nothing against this film whatsoever, but at the same time, I'm not rushing back to watch it. So if someone did ask me if they wanted to watch it, the answer is probably yes. It's definitely not a hard no. I'm not like, no, get the fuck out of here. But there's no excitement to go and rewatch it. Now, when it comes to recommendations, the first one that really popped into my head when I saw the trailer, not only that, but also seeing the film itself, is Westworld. For many reasons, obviously the robot companion thing, but also because there are scenes where the companion is being woken up. We're seeing that you can alter their settings on a device, which Westworld and this both have, and I think you really do want to see this companion go off the rails, very much like you see in Westworld. And I can see a lot of similarities between Sophie Thatcher's performance in this to Thandie Newton in Westworld, both quite badass women. Another recommendation, Jack Quaid, who I would say is the star in this film alongside Sophie Thatcher. Most people know him from The Boys, playing as Huey, but he has done some really interesting other roles, most notably his appearance in Scream 5, playing a very interesting character who you never know if you can really trust. Now, I really enjoyed that film. I'll be honest, admittedly, it took me quite some time to realise who he was. That film is filled with a lot of other cast who are known from other TV shows and movies, and I was having quite a difficult time trying to remember who he was. But honestly, standout performance in that. Not only in Scream 5, but I really am looking forward to another film he's going to appear in. Whilst I can't really say if it's a recommendation or not, I am looking forward to the film Novocaine. He is playing the titular character. The film itself looks very funny, violent, action-packed, and quite disturbing in the humour. I feel like his character is Huey if he had a bit more confidence and thought he was John Wick. Definitely look forward to that. Those are my recommendations. This has been my review for the film Companion. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe. But most importantly, thank you and have a nice day.